All right, welcome back to another edition of Live from Red Hook here at the Funktion House. I'm Mike Gentili along here with Anthony Vitale.
What's up?
And tonight, we'd like to welcome the very special duo, the AfroKinetic boys,
Yes.
Chris Annibell and OP Miller. Welcome.
Welcome to the
Thank you, man.
Function House.
Thank you, gentlemen.
They have a little studio audience with them tonight.
You guys
Yes.
been here before, though, right?
Absolutely.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for coming down. And we'd like to start off our show. Like, how did you guys get together?
Man, you want to feel that, or you want me to kick it off?
So I'll take it back. Gosh, this is now, what was that, 2006?
2005.
That's 2005. So I used to work at a distribution company called Studio Distribution, Studio K7. And I used to handle all the BBE catalog and a bunch of other catalogs to put music out. And Rich Medina was putting out his album, Connecting the Dots. And my friend Mike Adasco, who was working that record, and I was kind of helping him out with it, was like, yo, I want you to be a part of the album release party for Rich. And another friend of ours, Peggy, as well, was promoting that party.
Shout out to Rich and Peggy.
Yeah, Peggy, big shout in London. So they were like, yeah, we want you to, start the party off downstairs, and then we're gonna have this dude Chris Annibell come on and rock. And I was like, okay, I know Chris. I heard about AfroKinetic, and I knew about turntables on the Hudson and some of the Giant stuff, and so on and so forth. But we had never met, but
That's right.
amongst a kind of small circle of people. So.
And how long ago was this?
This is 2005. Yeah.
2005.
So, and I remember that night clearly because it was in the winter and it was a snowstorm out that night, and people were still lying around the block on 14th Street in the city trying to get to this party. So
Broadway or something like that, right?
it was 14th and 6th. It was at that dance studio on the corner on upstairs.
Second and third floor.
That's right. That's right. So the second and third floor, we were on the second floor, and then Rich was on the third floor doing the party, and the whole place was packed out. Like thousands of people showed up to this thing back when New York could still do parties
In a blizzard. That's
in
when,
a blizzard.
That's when New York was popping.
Right. When you could still do parties on 14th Street and not get shut down by the cops and whatnot.
But this was all in like the APT days, because
That's right.
We
That's
were
right.
we all descended upon APT pretty much 4 or 5 days a week. We would just see everybody there. And
Yep.
We'd all be patronizing each other's events and whatnot. So
Yeah.
2005 were the good old days,
yeah,
right?
that's
Isn't
the
it
thing.
crazy to say that?
Yeah, I know it's crazy, right?
It's like, feels like yesterday, but
Right.
we're talking
Indeed.
about 14 years ago.
Yeah. So I opened up the party, and then Chris came on, and we both killed it. I was like, okay, dope vibe, and from there, just kind of friendship developed, and picked up from there.
So AfroKinetic was already established, or you guys started that together?
That's correct. Chris had already started the party.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
started the party in May of 2003 at New Blue, in the original New Blue location in the East Village. So it was originally supposed to be actually a party that Nicodemus and I were doing together, because at the time we were both producing music together for Giant Step Records under the pseudonym Nicodemus and Osiris.
Okay.
He was doing turntables on the Hudson at the time, and we were like, we should do something together. And then for just kind of circumstances that beyond our control, we just couldn't line up the dates. And so I just started doing a party in New Blue.
So you guys are both born and raised in New York?
Born and partially raised. I've lived in a couple different places. Originally born in Brooklyn, and then lived in a few different states around, and then came back to New York. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born on Long Island, went to school in the Midwest, university, came back, basically been here. Besides university, I've been here my whole life.
Nice.
So what gave you the idea to start the AfroKinetic thing?
So I originally went to school for music as a drummer. So rhythm, drums, just generally is kind of, what I'm about. And just the synergy between, the drum and the dancer was really kind of this simple idea that we're all very connected to. But rhythm is kind of that thing that connects not only people, the dancer and the musician or the DJ, but it connects genres.
Right.
Right? So that was that was really the simple idea behind it. Afro rhythm is the thing that connects the majority of the music that we listen to, it be it techno or house music or disco or soul music or salsa or whatever it is. It's all pretty much linked to Afro rhythm. And then kinetic is just movement.
Yep.
That was pretty much it.
So this is something that's been going on for
16 years.
wow.
It's a long run.
Yeah.
We've been blessed. We've been very blessed. We've had residencies at marquee establishments in New York, as well as kind of like holes in the wall. You know, I mean, we paid dues, and but we're never above playing anywhere. You know, we like to work with good people. We like to put on DJs that play good music. We're definitely not above it. We're all about it.
What is some of the most memorable AfroKinetic events that you guys have done? Is there any, like, let's say one or two that have stuck out that you're like,
I'll let you kick
this.
this.
That's a good one. So when I first played the party, before I joined onto the party, we did over, what was the name of that spot over in Gowanus?
Oh, the Old American Camp Factory.
That's right. And it was myself, Chris, Mark DeClavlo, doing live, performance
Is that on
situation.
7th Street? 2nd Avenue? and
No,
7th
it's on Third.
Third
and it's like Third and Third.
Third and Third.
Yeah.
So it's right across the street from the Whole Foods.
Which
now.
is Whole Foods now.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember that night was a pretty memorable moment. Outdoors in the kind of courtyard in the back, and just great energy and people. And again, it was around that kind of time where there was just like a lot of good energy going on in the city. We could still do things kind of different. So that was a great night. But I mean, we had so many nights just playing together. Sputnik, I remember back in the day, doing stuff there. And even just our residency now at the Standard Hotel, where we just had some incredible nights and some great guests that have come on and rock with us. For our anniversary last year, we had Kenny Dope that came and played with us.
And Obvious.
And Obvious came, and rocked with us, yeah.
So you always have DJs come in and work with them, or is it just usually just you guys working the party?
It's a good question. It's evolved over the years, more based on the industry than anything else. And also based on the frequency of the party. The party for about 7 years was a weekly Saturday night event, so we had a lot more latitude to kind of bring people in. If people were in town, they would just hit us up and be like, "Hey, I'm coming to town. Do you have an availability for a guest?" And we would split that time up. Maybe half the time we would just rock ourselves and kind of have that space to flex.
Yep.
And then other times when people were coming through, we'd have them, rock with us. So it just kind of depends. Now we do the event bi-monthly. So for the most part, we've been just playing ourselves and occasionally having a guest. But it changes, and it will continue to change, I'm sure.
So it's crazy how you guys were doing it every week and how it transforms to doing it sort of less.
Nightlife, man.
Yes.
New York nightlife. I mean, we were saying the good old days of 2005, 2006.
It's crazy, right?
I would say by 2009, maybe 2011 at best, like everything changed.
So is there like a cover to get into the party? Do you guys charge a cover at the door?
It depends on the venue.
Yeah.
Is that that's like an instinct? Like it doesn't happen anymore.
Nah, well, yeah, the Standard, it's just come through.
Yeah.
Yeah, guest list, hit us up and then, come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that the Standard and LeBain has kind of been hot, like as of late. I want to say over the last year, there's just a lot of action happening in that room, which is like good for just house music and nightlife in general in the city.
Yeah, I gotta give it up to Neil Eileen from he was running LeBain for many years, but. And his whole team, Jerome.
That's right.
They pay attention.
They pay attention. They treat artists very well. They understand the balance between, the crowd that's coming just to be there, and the crowd that's coming for music. And they've somehow struck this amazing balance and continue to do great work.
Yeah, because you would think like the Standard Hotel, like they would just cater to tourists, and they would want to cater to just the tourists, but having like this party there really says a lot about the Standard Hotel.
And they have a blanket no request policy.
That's right. That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally is. So
Because
big
you
up
have to
to,
deal with a lot of the tourists.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is a touristy area, but I want to say, like, the Standard is probably, like, the last thing in that area that's still standing.
Yeah.
Right? You
yeah, I
know?
mean, CLO's gone.
That's right.
APT's been gone.
Been gone.
Yeah. So there's,
Trying
like,
to think of what other venues. Oh, well, now there's the spot that Natasha's doing her party at.
Yeah, down the block.
Down
yeah.
the block. That,
yeah.
that's,
at Chelsea
that's
Music
a,
Hall.
That's a new spot, which
What's
is
the name of it?
Chelsea Music Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been doing good events there, but beyond that, I can't think of anything that jumps off.
yep.
So going back, were you always into this type of music? Were you always into dance music, or did you start off playing like hip hop records? And both of you could answer this.
Yeah, well, my entryway into house music is definitely very interesting. I started off as a hip hop head. So, what was I, 14, around 14, 15 when I started collecting records and got my first set of turntables and my little Gemini mixer and
The
trying
Gemini
to,
mix.
yeah.
Like,
So
that's like the track for every
That's-
DJ.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that little Gemini with the
Yep,
transformer
you got
button.
it exactly the same one.
I-
Same
The
one.
sampler that never
I had
worked.
a new mark.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
You can step above. So,
Just as bad.
but I was very much into like East Coast hip hop, and then some like kind of like soulful stuff too. But like it was really just like hip hop, and my life changed after I went to college. I ended up spending a year in South Africa, working for a radio station called YFM, and at that point in time, this is like now 98. YFM was the first non-government funded radio station in the country. And this is like kind of like right after apartheid ended and Mandela gets into office and, democracy's coming into the country. But a lot of things are still kind of shifting government-wise. So this station was super important because it played all the music that the youth wanted to hear, especially youth in the townships.
Yep.
So, and there was no real format to the station. So it was like they would play a hip hop song, a house song, a reggae song, a Kwaito song, which is like the kind of local township music, and then play whatever else they wanted to play. So I was there working for the station, doing some programming and ended up DJing on the station as well. But all the DJs that I was connected to there were playing house music. And what was interesting is they were also playing, not only were they playing house music, but they were playing house music slower than you normally would on the turntable. So instead of playing at 0 on the turntable, they played at like -4, sometimes -5, and it gave it a whole different type of groove that I had never like heard before. And I was like, oh, this is kind of ill. So I get into it more and more, and then I would start going to parties and seeing people playing house music and seeing just like thousands upon thousands of people getting crazy over it.
So were they playing house music that was like produced here in New York and Chicago? Or
Yeah,
they,
very much so.
Oh, wow.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, like a lot of soulful stuff, some deep stuff, but it was dope. And then mixing it in with like the Kwaito stuff that they were doing there, and then kind of making mergings of that music as they're producing it as well. So it kind of flipped my mind a little bit in terms of like, okay, you can actually play different types of music and not just play hip hop,
Yeah.
right? And then I got back to
It was like your first aha moment.
no, very much so, very much
Right?
so. Yeah, I mean,
Those
it
are
was
the
like
best moments.
yeah, I mean, because I would hear stuff, prior to that. I was like, okay, that's cool, but it didn't really grab me, right? And then again, seeing it in a different context opened my mind up, and it made me realize, oh wait, there's other music that's out there in the world too, besides house music, that I should start to kind of get into. So as broken beats started coming into the scene, I got very much heavily involved in that kind of music and other styles of music, and now singing, how do I take all this music and shape it to where it's not just about house, it's not just about hip hop, it's about everything, and how you make a cohesive vibe between all these musics and styles together. And that's where I'm at now. Like, I don't like to stay in one place, because if I stay in one place, I feel like I'm not giving justice to other things that are out there musically that need to get heard by people. So
It's also where we share kind of that creative space as a duo. AfroKinetic's always been about this eclecticism and keeping dance music eclectic. So if you come to our event, we'll start out at like 90 beats per minute, and we'll take you through that journey. And that journey could be funk and soul. That journey could be hip hop. That journey could be bass music. It could be new disco. It could be classic disco. It could be deep house, soulful house, Afro beat. I mean, we take you there, and we've always done that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, to some extent, that's why I think we've been able to resonate with a broad group of people. I mean, we're a boutique event without question, but we don't resonate with just a specific subgenre of music listeners. We're blessed to have kind of a broader reach.
Yeah.
And I think it's a blessing for us.
So you get a crowd that's very open-minded,
Yeah.
and they just come to be swept up by the music.
Yeah, not all of them want to just dance. Some people want to come and just enjoy good music and talk to homies.
That's me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't dance. I
know
go
what I
to
mean?
listen to music.
They want to go out and hear music loud or on a pristine system, and they want to see their friends and commune and develop community, and
Yep.
they want to dance.
Speaking of system, how is the system in Lebain?
Oh, it's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's a
Yeah.
Function 1. They've definitely reinforced it in the last, I'd say within the last 12 to 18 months, because we showed up to work at one point, and all of a sudden the bottom was just amazing. We're like, what?
So important.
Yeah, it really is
Absolutely.
important.
But yeah, no, it's nice.
So what about production? You guys making music?
Yes, we're making music. Right now, for me personally, I've had a job for the past 2 years where I haven't been in the studio. I released one single last year on Nicodemus's label, Wonder Wheel, which did well. And working on some re-edits and some releases currently. That's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
OP just released a couple of things.
Yeah, me and a good friend of mine, my boy Ian Wallace, we've been doing some remixes. So there's a few things on SoundCloud. I'll probably play one or two of them tonight that are getting a little love. And yeah,
Awesome. When's the next AfroKinetic event?
August 24th.
Is that the date?
Yeah, that's the date.
Plug it.
I know it's in August. I just I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
August 24th at the Standard Lebain. Yeah, me and Chris is going in all night, which will be fun. Yeah, because the last one was at the Hooligan, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, we'll be able to go in all night and kind of
Stretch out.
spread it a little bit.
So
Yeah,
the party right now is bi-monthly, so it's
that's right.
and it doesn't. It's not always at the Standard.
So
Primarily.
we right now. So what we used to do is we would be every other month at Le Ben, and then in the odd months we would be in a Brooklyn location. So the event would happen once a month, but once in Brooklyn, once in Manhattan. We
And
just
where
kind of-
where do you feel the party is? Where do you feel it's better, in Brooklyn or in Manhattan?
That's different.
Yeah,
I mean, OP can chime in. It's different. I mean, you know, Le Ben gives us like this opportunity to play for a way more international crowd.
Yep.
It's a free event, so for people that appreciate that, it gives them an opportunity to chime in and be a part of our community. And then Brooklyn is a different group of people. Some shared clearly, but there's some people that just don't want to go to that venue, and that's okay.
Right.
That's just not necessarily for everybody. So I think having it in Brooklyn and having it in Manhattan, we're catering to a core group of the same people, but then there are kind of subsets of people that don't go to Manhattan or don't leave to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, true.
So outside of the DJ world, but still sort of connected to what you guys do, you are both involved in other areas of music.
that's right.
You working for a big brand
Mm-hmm.
affiliated in the DJ world.
That's right.
And you in education, music education. Why don't you guys dive into a little about that? How you guys got into the roles that you guys are working in,
Yeah.
and what you guys enjoy about that?
Yeah, for sure. Now, by day, I work for Serato, for the DJ software company, and now DJ production software company as well. So I run our studio that's just here down the block at Industry City in Sunset Park, and I am responsible for a lot of DJs across the world. In fact, I just got text right before I got on here.
A lot
It
of
was like-
people rolled through here mentioning your name. I have
Yes.
to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
your phone must be nonstop.
It's nonstop all the time, even when we're doing gigs.
Can I get this? Can I
Yeah.
get that? Right? This
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
How do I fix
Or
this?
Nonstop.
yeah, and usually it's something very simple like, oh, I didn't press a certain button, and then, oh, wow, it works, and it's all good. those kind of things. But I'm also responsible for a lot of the marketing that happens for the U.S. For Serato as well. So I'm pretty busy. I got into that role because I also come from an education background as well. Chris and I both used to teach at a school called Dubspot when it was around in New York on 14th Street.
yes,
Yeah.
Dubspot.
Yeah, so I was there for about 4 years as a DJ instructor and assistant music production instructor as well, and did some content with them and so on and so forth. And that job ended up parlaying into the job at Serato, and now I'm running that for the East Coast for the company. So, yeah.
So that's
great.
good.
My story's similar. I was teaching in the production department, so I wasn't teaching DJing at Dubspot, but I was teaching Ableton, Logic, and music theory there. And then after I left there, I basically just started a private education company where I just had a lot of private students or small group classes, which I leveraged into a consultancy and ended up taking on a position, actually, a directorship at the Electronic Music Collective downtown Manhattan, which is a brand new 8,000 square foot electronic music school facility. And I just finished a 2-year contract there, so they're looking good and they're ready to roll.
What's the gear like in that building?
Amazing. I got to spend a lot of time.
What was the budget? What was the spend? What was the budget on that project?
You don't want to know, man. It'll make your head hurt.
That's great. Well, we're happy to have you here at the Funktion House. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we're really excited to hear the set.
Yep.
You guys have something special planned?
We're just we're probably gonna do a little back to back, which we don't often do. So
That's
I'm
great.
kind of amped about that. It's feed off each other a little bit.
Yeah,
All right,
All right.
cool. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We're going to get them up on the set.
let's do it.
Go to thefunctionhouse.com for no interruptions. Facebook gets a little iffy, so go to thefunctionhouse.com. Peace.
All right.
All right, we got Chris Annibell and OP, AfroKinetic, live from Red Hook here at the Funktion House.
Ela tem um rebolado, um ritmo mais sensual, ilumina os olhos da gente com seu corpo cultural. Na praia é uma delícia, com sua cor de jambu, deixa muita mulher calcada e tudo que é homem babando. À noite ela é uma estrela, ofusca o brilho da lua. Não há beleza na terra que se compare com a sua. Mas o que o povo desconhece, esse tremendo ciclone, musa da geração 2000, é a maçã de silicone. É mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Mania de peitão, oh, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Nunca vi fazer tanta exigência, nem fazer o que você me faz. Você não sabe o que é consciência, não vê que eu sou um pobre rapaz. Você só pensa em luxo e riqueza, tudo que você vê, você quer. Ai meu Deus, que saudades da Amélia, aquilo sim que era mulher. Ela tem um rebolado, cor de mais sensual, ilumina os olhos da gente com seu corpo escultural. Na praia é uma delícia, com sua cor de jambu, deixa muita mulher calcada e tudo que é homem babando, 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 babando. Gente, ela é uma estrela, ofusca o brilho da lua. Não há beleza na terra que se compare com a sua. Mas o povo desconhece que esse tremendo ciclone, musa da geração 2000, é a maçã de silicone. É mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Mania de peitão, oh, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão. É a maçã de silicone. Nunca vi fazer tanta exigência, nem fazer o que você me faz. Você não sabe o que é consciência, não vê que eu sou um pobre rapaz. Você só pensa em luxo e riqueza, tudo que você vê, você quer. Ai meu Deus, que saudades da Amélia, aquilo sim que era mulher. Ela tem um rebolado, cor de mais sensual, ilumina os olhos da gente com seu corpo escultural. Na praia é uma delícia, com sua cor de jambu, deixa muita mulher calcada e tudo que é homem babando, 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 babando. Gente, ela é uma estrela, ofusca o brilho da lua. Não há beleza na terra que se compare com a sua. peitão, mania de peitão, é armação de silicone. Mania de peitão, oh, mania de peitão, mania de peitão, é armação de silicone. Mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão, é armação de silicone. Mania de peitão, mania de peitão, mania de peitão, é armação de silicone. Mania de peitão, mania de peitão,
You
see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation. That will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you are laughing and opening a way for your own demise.
Someone who cares about you the way I do. Oh, I'm not bragging on myself, baby, but I'm the one who loves you, and there's no one else. No. You'll never find it'll take the end of all time someone to understand you like I do. You'll never find the rhythm, the rhyme, all the magic we share, just us two. Oh, I'm not trying to make you stay, baby, but I know somehow, someday, somewhere
she love. See that woman, she love. She drink coffee, she love. She drink tea, she love. And rooster crow, she love. See that woman, dressed in red. Smile at the man when you wake up in his bed. See that woman, dressed in black. We got the man and the stab in his back. See that woman, she love. She drink coffee, she love. She drink tea, she love. And rooster crow, she love. See that woman, dressed in white. Marry the man and spend a long sweet life. See that woman, dressed in green. Silver lining and golden seas. See that woman, dressed in blue. Her man and what he knows what he can do. See that woman, 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 see that See that woman, she love. She drink coffee, she love. She drink tea, she love. And rooster crow, she love. See that woman, dressed in blue. Call on the man and let he knows what he can do. See that woman, dressed in red. Smile at the man when you wake up in his bed. See that woman, see that woman, see that woman, see that woman. Try.
Kumbabe, babe, babe, we make it in my jet. Man, I'm a chain, my jet. Pull up mama. Baby, Mama, let me be your papa. You're my favorite chiquita. Loco neka na koneka. Mama, let me be your papa. You're my favorite chiquita. Loco neka na koneka.
There's nothing wrong with the world. Morning skies, soothing clouds for a motherless child. Morning dew, waiting for you to breathe. Some say, Shawena Shitata. Some say, Shawena Shinene. No, 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 no. Your expectation.
The shortest one got to be down here.
Nah, come on up.
That was awesome, guys.
I'll lean back.
That was a great set.
Thank you.
I heard a lot of samples in there. Any of those edits are yours? Like the Lou Rawls one?
No, that one's not mine. But the Janet Jackson joint that was towards the
Janet
end.
Jackson
That's
also,
me,
I
my
heard.
boy Ian Wallace. So that's out on SoundCloud now. And
Oh, that's the one you did with him?
yeah.
Oh, dope.
We got a whole EP of Janet stuff and a bunch of other stuff coming. So
Nice.
yeah.
The first track we played was a re-edit that I'm working on, Say George track. So
Awesome.
So this is how you guys normally play at the AfroKinetic party?
yeah, I mean, because we can be so eclectic. Sometimes we'll go heavy Latin, sometimes we'll go heavy disco, sometimes we'll go heavy deep. But I mean, generally we try to hit as much as possible as long as it contextually makes sense. And you know, we got to read the room as well. I mean, like any good DJ, we want to make sure that people are digging what we're doing, and we try to, you know, use our style and our ability
Yeah.
to turn people on to stuff, but keep them engaged.
So, but the format of you guys DJing, it's like you play a couple records and you play a couple records. That's how you normally do it?
Actually, at the party, I usually start off first.
Uh-huh.
And so I'll start off kind of like mid-tempo, like 100, 105.
Yep.
Little hip-hop, little soul, little disco, little funk. Kind of get into like a little mid-tempo kind of house. And then I'm usually in some kind of like Afro house by the time like dance floors like peak.
Yeah.
So we kind of like build the room up so people can kind of get a journey in different sounds. And also too, again, kind of like what Chris says, like we're into so much different type of music, and also there's so much stuff that kind of interweaves between each other that we like to try to tell a story throughout the night. So we build it up. So if you come in 10 o'clock, by the time you get to 12, you've heard a wide range of music that all flowed together and mixed together and came together to tell a story.
Yeah.
So by the time 12 o'clock peaks and you got people on the dance floor and the place is packed, the energy's already there without you having to force it to be there, because organically it grew that way. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well, you guys definitely had me dancing upstairs. I was switching.
He
the
can't
cameras.
dance, so.
Yeah, I believe he can dance. I know some moves in those
You
feet
should
there.
come through, man. We always need a good dancer. You know?
Yeah. I'll definitely, I could put on a show with my my Converse on.
Yeah, and shout out to our brother Ovius back here. This is his track that's playing in the background here.
Absolutely.
Oh, put it back on
He's-
then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's been one of our guests for AfroKinetic in the past, and we've had a whole bunch of other people. that's come.
And shout out to Eamon. Eamon, come up here for a second, man.
Put him on the spot.
Eamon is AfroKinetic Central headquarters. He's played percussion with us pretty much for the past 10 years.
Wow.
He
should've
he
told us,
started
but
playing
we
with us
have-
in 2005.
We have a djembe
He started
over
playing
there.
with us
we
in
could have
2005.
whipped out the
Yeah.
djembe. You could have
Yeah,
jammed
man.
And,
So-
and shout out to Leah as well. So you guys have had her on here. She's an incredible
Yes.
DJ.
Let me make room. Let me make
producer.
room.
but she helps us
Say
promote
what's
the
up,
party
Leah.
as well.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So
What's up?
she's a gem, and we love her to death. And thank you so much for all the effort. And
Lee
time
said she
and
wasn't
energy
gonna
you
stay
put
for the
into
whole
party,
set.
So
Yeah,
thank
well, we twisted her
Yeah.
arm.
Ms. Jeannie Harper back here. What up? What up?
Shout
what
out to Jeannie Hopper.
Yeah.
Liquid Sound Lounge Radio in the
Yeah.
place to be.
Yeah. Follow the tradition of great music with her radio show and her parties and
Absolutely.
everything else. So, yeah, we try to, provide a space for family to be able to come in and listen to music and play
Yep.
music and dance and community and everything else. So,
And
Awesome.
they support us just like we support them. Jeannie's
Absolutely.
been playing our music for 20 years, So
absolutely.
Nice.
we're all working together in New York City to make
So
it happen.
August 24th, right?
August 24th, LeBain Standard Hotel. Free. www.afrokinetic.net. RSVP for it.
Your
The RSVP will be up
Instagram
soon.
handles at AfroKinetic.
At AfroKinetic.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
AfroKinetic.net. Definitely go there. That's where you can RSVP for kind of hassle-free entry. You get on our list, and you just kind of bypass the crazy line. And
yeah.
There's
your
usually
way up.
nothing about hassle-free about the Standard
Nah.
Hotel.
Well,
they're kind.
Well,
They've been very kind to us.
Yes, yes.
I,
So,
I saw a funny
if you're
post.
not on our list,
uh,
then you got a little bit of an issue potentially. Great people, but get on
Hex
our list.
Hector
become easy.
posted a funny post the other day where they were rejecting him at the door. And he's like, oh, but he's like, I'm Hex Hector. I play here sometimes. And the guy at the door is like, I know Hex Hector, and you're not Hex Hector. That's what I read on the.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Crazy, crazy.
That was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
They don't play. They don't play.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So shout out to the door guy at LeBain.
Shutting it down.
absolutely. Word up.
All right, well, thanks for coming down,
Yo,
guys.
for real, thank you guys
all
for the opportunity.
Yeah,
for
guys,
love,
thank
for
you.
the-
guys,
we really
for the
appreciate
courtesy.
you.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Chris Annibell, OP, AfroKinetic. Peace.
Peace.